Hi, and welcome everybody to the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Channel. You're watching the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Ross Benjamin, and I'm from gamblersworld.net, which is our sponsor site, folks. And if you haven't been to gamblersworld.net, you need to check us out because not only myself, but 9 of the finest handicappers you'll find anywhere on the internet today. And today I'm flying solo. Unfortunately, Doug Upstone, who's usually with me on a Monday, went through a surgical procedure on Friday, and he's recovering as we speak. So we wish Doug all the best in his recovering and healing process, and we certainly will miss him on today's show. A couple of key notes here over at gamblersworld.net. Don't forget, folks, any of us, any of the 10 handicappers, including myself, $3.99 will get you the rest of the college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, including NCAA tournament, the NIT, CBI, right through all the championship games. A good 6 weeks of action just for $3.99, folks. So take advantage of that offer, and you can go to gamblersworld.net, and it's right there on the homepage for you to take a look at. And then it's just a matter of clicking on what expert or experts you want to purchase from. So thank you for that. And college basketball for me over the weekend, on the surface, 5-4 looks like a whole hum weekend, but I did make a decent profit because I cashed in on both of my top plays. A 4-unit top play yesterday on the Nebraska Cornhuskers as they continue to dominate at home in Big Ten action. They were minus 6.5 yesterday against Minnesota, one handily 73-55. And Saturday, I went a little below the radar on a game that not a lot of people seem to be paying attention to, but I had a 5-unit top play on Loyola of Chicago, minus the 3, and they were taking on George Mason. And if you remember last week when we talked about George Mason, we brought to your attention it was the first time they had beaten a top 25 team in a previous game, beating Dayton. And that was the first time they beat a top 25 team at home ever, and the first time they beat a top 25 team since 2009. And I thought that they were going to be a little bit listless and not mentally right. And boy, oh boy, I looked emphatic as they Loyola Chicago blew them out 80-59. So some good runs in college basketball right now. Also Saturday, I had my college basketball total of the day, which cashed in on the Pepperdine and San Francisco game to go over 149.5. That game wins easily as it landed on 160. My college basketball totals now on a very successful 74-42 run, folks, and that's good for 64%. And let's not forget the NBA. 68-46 with my sides in the NBA, 60% over my last 114 NBA sides. Also, folks, don't forget, not only for myself, but all the great handicappers over at gamblersworld.net, we have 3-day, 7-day, and 30-day subscription plans, and they're all guaranteed. As a matter of fact, we guarantee all those subscription plans in addition to any single game or multi-game daily package. If you don't win, you don't make a profit, we will credit your account back the exact amount in which of which you purchased that specific package. So all great things and a lot of March Madness specials coming up, and especially later in the week. So make sure you go to gamblersworld.net. We'll have all those specials up for you and posted and listed, and I'll go over them with you as the week progresses. I am going to be looking at the Baylor and TCU game, which goes at 9 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN tonight. Just a friendly reminder, I hit my free pick again on Friday's show for the Saturday game. I can't even remember what I gave you at this particular moment in time. I know I won 10-4 with my last 14 free picks here on this channel. So let's make it 11-4 today. Right now, TCU is a 2.5-point home favorite, and the total in this game is 148. And this, to me, this shapes up as a very tough spot for Baylor. I mean, they're coming off a disheartening 82-76 home overtime loss to number 2 ranked Houston. They overcame a 16-point halftime deficit, and then they missed a free throw with 4 seconds left to play in regulation time that would have got them the win, but that didn't come into fruition as they missed that free throw and they end up losing in overtime. And that's the 3rd overtime loss for Baylor this year. And one of them, by the way, ironically came against tonight's opponent, TCU, when they lost 105-102 to TCU on Baylor's home floor. And Baylor has not done well in these revenge situations such as these. Specifically speaking, they're 1-10 against the spread since the start of the 2021-2022 season when playing with revenge that stems from an upset loss. And they were favored in that game against TCU. And again, they lost that game 105-102 in 3 overtimes. Now, just 2 days later, after that heartbreaking loss to number 2 ranked Houston, they traveled to TCU. And this is the TCU team coming off an impressive 75-57 home blowout win against Cincinnati on Saturday. You know, a lot of you out there might be surprised to know this, but KenPom ranks each team's in terms of what their home court advantage is. There's 362 teams that are currently playing Division I basketball, and KenPom has TCU with the 4th strongest home court in all of college basketball out of those 362 teams. So that's something to keep in mind. As a matter of fact, they're telling you when the line gets set and on a neutral floor, whatever the line would be on a neutral floor, to add 4.3 points to TCU's power ranking when they're playing at home. So that shows you how strong they deem their home court to be. TCU, they don't shoot a lot of threes, but they're the best when they do so in terms of percentage-wise. During Big 12 action, 38.2% from three-point range. Baylor, as good as they are offensively, they have their defensive deficiencies. They're number 10 in defensive efficiency in terms of Big 12 play, number 11 in terms of defending the three. And we just told you how good TCU shoots the three. And this is also a Baylor team that's gone just 2-4 straight up in conference road games this season. And their only wins in that sequence came against West Virginia, who's currently 9-18 straight up and 4-10 in Big 12 play, in Central Florida, who's 5-9 in Big 12 play. So you got 2 teams they beat on the road, and they're a combined 9-19, and they lost the other 4. They didn't get blown out, but they haven't found the ingredient to beat a quality team on the road within conference play. Again, to me, this is a very tough spot for Baylor. I know they're playing with revenge. I told you they're not very good playing with revenge, stemming from a straight-up favorite loss like they had earlier this season against TCU. Again, keep in mind, we've discussed this time and time again, TCU's unranked. Baylor, now the new rankings didn't come out this week yet, but last week they were ranked number 11. Now they did suffer losses at BYU and at home against Houston. Those are 2 nationally ranked teams, but I think it's safe to say they're a top 25 ranked team, even with the new rankings coming out. Not nowhere near as high as 11, but still ranked. And we have an unranked team in TCU as a small favorite against a ranked team like Baylor. And boy, oh boy, these unranked teams, when they're favored against ranked teams this year, are somewhere in between 60 and 65% against the spread this year. So again, folks, like I always tell you, trust the odds makers more than you trust the pollsters. And that's just what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take TCU on the money line, minus 135 over Baylor. That game goes at 9 o'clock tonight on ESPN. It's 9 o'clock Eastern time. All right, don't forget, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please take a second to do so. It costs you absolutely nothing. There's no strings attached. There's no hidden agenda. Just click that black subscribe button right underneath your video box. If you're watching on your PC, you'll see a WC logo right in the bottom right-hand corner of your video box. If you click on that, that'll serve the same purpose and you're all set to go. And we'd like to thank each and every one of you who have subscribed. We have over 12,500 subscribers, which is mind-boggling to me. And we appreciate each and every one of you out there. And for those of you who are new or are current subscribers, if you haven't taken the time to do this, I would highly suggest you do so. Go into your YouTube settings and just click on the alert notification bell for the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel, and you'll be notified immediately upon any of our podcasts, which it's 5 times a week now. During football season, we're 6 or 7 times a week. In any event, you don't have to keep coming and finding out when our pre-recorded podcasts are on. Just click that alert notification bell and you'll be notified immediately. Also, keep in mind, Friday is our live show. We had a nice turnout on Friday, and every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern time with Sean Higgs and Jesse Schule. Tomorrow, I'll be back with Jesse and Sean, and we'll be talking more college basketball as Jesse will take a look at the BYU and Kansas game. Sean's going to take a look at Kentucky and Mississippi State, and I'll look at Texas and Texas Tech. All real good games, folks. That's tomorrow. We'll be recording in mid-morning, and so that show should be up. The podcast should be up somewhere between 11:30 a.m. Eastern time and noon Eastern time. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget, TCU minus 135 over Baylor on the money line. ESPN national broadcast tonight. Until the next time, take care and God bless, folks.